Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to completely dismantle pretty much everything you thought you knew about building habits. If you've ever found yourself super frustrated because traditional habit advice just doesn't stick for you long-term, you're in exactly the right place. We're about to dive into a system that builds from absolute zero, just one small change at a time. Let's get into it.
Let's be totally honest for a second here. How many times have you tried one of those rigid 30-day challenges? Maybe you bought a fancy new journal or downloaded another streak tracking app, only for the whole thing to completely collapse after, 2 weeks? You start off riding this massive wave of motivation, logging absolutely everything perfectly, but eventually real life hits. You stumble, that momentum just vanishes, and you end up right back at square one. It's an incredibly painful cycle, and honestly, it's super common.
But here is the hard truth that nobody in the habit industry really wants to admit. The problem isn't you. The problem is the advice. Traditional habit advice is usually designed by people who already have, great habits. It assumes this baseline of discipline and consistency that most beginners simply don't have yet. Basically, it sets you up for failure right out of the gate by expecting total perfection.
So for today's explainer, here's our roadmap. We'll start with why that old advice fails, then walk through the 3 core rules of stackable habits: single focus, habit stacking, and never miss twice. Finally, we'll wrap up with 3 key takeaways.
All right, jumping right into section 1, why habit advice fails, also known as the perfection trap.
The very first major pitfall we run into is what we call the reset trap. Just imagine you decide to drink more water, go to sleep earlier, exercise daily, and meditate every morning, all starting on a Monday. And hey, for about 10 days it works. But then you stay up late one night. Because you miss sleep, you skip the morning workout. Because you skip the workout, you feel like the whole day is just ruined, so you reach for the snacks. By the evening, you've told yourself today simply doesn't count, and you'll just reset tomorrow. It becomes this endless, exhausting cycle of starting over forever, never actually building anything that lasts, all because of a single mistake. This second mistake is what we call streak pressure. You know all those apps and journals we rely on to track our habits every day? They actually create a hidden trap. The absolute second that perfect streak breaks, the habit itself feels broken. Most people respond to that broken streak, and let's face it, the shame that comes with it, by quitting entirely, rather than just accepting an imperfect record. Both this streak pressure and the reset trap happen for the exact same reason. This system was built for perfection. And as we all know, real life is quite literally never perfect. You can really see the stark contrast between these two approaches here. On one hand, you have that chaotic all-or-nothing method, trying to juggle 5 habits at once, which pretty much predictably fades out after a couple of weeks. But compare that to the incredibly calm, steady compounding effect of focusing on just one single habit. It doesn't fade, it actually grows stronger over time. Which brings us to Section 2, Rule 1, Single Focus, doing just one new habit at a time.
You need to strictly limit yourself to one new habit at a time, and I really mean never 2, because introducing 2 new behaviors at once literally doubles your points of failure and halves your chance of either one sticking. Let's walk through this timeline to see how deeply encoding just one habit sets you up for massive future growth. In month 1, your only new habit is a 10-minute walk after lunch. That's it. You aren't overhauling your diet or fixing your sleep, just the walk. By the end of the month, your brain has fully encoded it. Your schedule has made room for it. It's become an anchor. Then, in month 2, you add 5 push-ups after that walk. The walk already exists, so the push-ups just borrow its momentum. You're getting 2 habits for the price of 1 decision. By month 3, you tack on a 2-minute stretch. See what happened? You've built a genuine, solid daily practice without ever trying to frantically juggle all 3 at the same time.
Moving on to Section 3, Rule 2, Habit Stacking, attaching it to something you already do. Now, this rule completely eliminates the need to magically find extra free time in your busy day. The core idea is this: you are not creating a new time slot. You are borrowing one that already exists. I want you to really lean into this whole borrowing metaphor. Habit stacking is widely considered the absolute most effective technique in behavioral science for making a new routine actually stick. You don't need to invent an extra 30 minutes in your morning out of thin air. You simply piggyback onto a slot that is already happening automatically. Think about your painfully ordinary daily anchors. The formula here is super simple. After I do existing thing X, I will do new thing Y. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I do 5 squats. The coffee's already happening no matter what, the squats just borrow its time slot.
After I brush my teeth at night, I do a 60-second plank. Teeth brushing is totally non-negotiable, so the plank rides that absolute certainty. After I sit down at my desk, I drink a full glass of water. After I close my laptop for the day, I take a 10-minute walk. The entire key here is just choosing an existing habit that you do every single day without even thinking about it.
Next up is Section 4. Rule 3. Never miss twice. Remember, 1 day is life. 2 is a pattern.
This rule right here, this is the emotional core and the absolute survival mechanism of the entire system. Because let's be real, we have to talk about what to do when real life totally ruins your perfect plan. The crucial point here is how we handle failure. Missing day 1 is not a failure. It's Tuesday. It's just life. It happens to literally everyone who has ever built a habit, and it doesn't break anything. You just move on. But missing 2 days in a row? That puts you in the danger zone. Not because 2 days destroys a habit, but because 2 days starts to feel like a new normal, and the absence becomes familiar. So if you miss day 1, day 2 becomes totally non-negotiable. Even if day 2 is just doing the bare minimum, like doing 5 squats instead of a full workout, you show up. Because showing up on day 2 is what keeps a minor stumble from becoming a full-blown fall. And if you happen to miss 3 days, well, you're no longer continuing a habit, you're starting over and rebuilding.
Finally, Section 5, 3 key takeaways, summarizing the Stackable Habit System.
Let's wrap up this explainer by cementing the exact framework you need to relieve all that habit-building guilt and finally succeed. Just to quickly recap these 3 steps. Number 1, 1 habit done right always beats 10 attempted. Depth beats breadth every single time. Build it properly before adding anything else. Number 2, borrow time, do not create it. The slot in your schedule is already there, you just need to attach a new behavior to it. And number 3, miss once, never twice. 1 bad day is perfectly normal and human, 2 in a row is a decision. Building habits should feel like calmly stacking solid blocks one on top of the other, not frantically spinning plates trying to keep everything perfect. So I'll leave you with this final, absolutely crucial question. What is the one existing habit you will stack a new behavior onto tomorrow? I challenge you to pick just one daily anchor right now. Maybe it's your morning coffee, brushing your teeth, or even just locking your front door. Decide exactly what new habit you're going to stack on top of it using that after I do this, I will do that formula. 1 habit, 1 stack. That's the whole shebang. Start tomorrow and just watch how it compounds. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy stacking!